Greetings, all of you metal freaks out there, freakazoids. I've been itching to get a podcast out of my system, so I'm here to jump into your earbuds, earpods, earphones, headphones, Bluetooth speakers, car Bluetooth, whatever the hell you are listening to me on right now. It's time for another episode of the bonus side of things. I'd like to get basically a lot of this format that I've been using on my phone to get this info has changed, so I'm going to keep things much more fresh. It's easier for me to navigate through my show notes that I write down before the show, so that I can keep the show relevant, keep the news relevant, and keep everything good to rock. Now, this episode, I want to go ahead and get some variety out of the way. I got birthdays, events, a couple artists, a couple podcasts, even some Twitter account that I want to mention, as it's pretty important to me. And the most important of the show here, the guts and the flesh, the guts of this whole thing, the heart, like Mortal Kombat style finisher. It's gonna be all the new. We got a memoir that I want to tell you about. There's gotta be, it's a must read. I know it's, for me it is at least. The movie, the new Ghost movie that everybody's ranting and raving about. I haven't read the reviews. I'm just gonna give my perspective on that from where I'm standing as I see these articles come through. A couple non-album reviews, but just mention of the album, basically promoting, and of course my main topic and subtopics being your profiles and online accounts, as well as the main piece de la resistance, of course, black metal. Let's get into this episode now. Alrighty, guys, greetings again. We're going to get into this, breeze right through it, as we're going to kick the show off here with all the new stuff coming out. Keeping this in format that I can use snippets of for my shorts and stories and the short attention spans, feeding the short attention spans of the globe, of the people of today. Right here, right now, the new Ghost movie is now available in theaters. This is totally unexpected, though they have definitely shown some acting skills in their short series that they have available on their YouTube channel. So you might want to go ahead and check that out. I know I'm interested in checking it out. I just already scoped out the scene in my nearest local theater, and it's not there, so I have to find it, buy tickets, go watch it. Also, we have here a new memoir available by Morton, the lead guitarist for Lamb of God, is available through multiple sources that you can find. I got the email because I'm subscribed to the Lamb of God newsletter, but if you want to go ahead and do that, that would make it easier for you. Otherwise, probably find it anywhere the books are available. That is Morton's memoir, Desolation. Also, there are some new videos out. There's a whole mess of Rotting Christ videos out. The Greek pagan metal band Rotting Christ has released a ton of music videos that I have yet to watch all of them. I've watched the first few, and they're amazing. Some of them are animated, some of them are... Either way, the message on it is just insane and really good and fitting for the genre for sure. Also, Mushroom Head has a new video out, and there's something that you want to check out, as it was sick as can be expected. They still have also a female vocalist in their band as well, and it's keeping things pretty fresh considering that the band has been around for, 30 years or something like that. Also, keeping it in the spirit of the Lamb of God, they just released their 20th anniversary edition of Ashes of the Wake that has some new version of Last Nail in Your Coffin featuring another guitarist. So the whole version is just new and fresh, and you want to check that out as well. There's also to wrap that portion of the show up, there's something that I have to mention on here. All this madness going on here with Cradle of Filth and their Hellfest Open Air 2024 set is available upon the approval of their company or distributing company. There's talk of that being the case. I'm not sure what it is, but the thing streamed live on Art Concerts since it was in France just last week, and then it was gone. It vanished from existence. It was available live and then not anymore. So there's some dubbed pro shots available if you want to check those versions out. I know I have one saved under my playlist. But at any rate, they need to get that sorted out. I know that there's also been talk about them having an issue with releasing the new album not till next year, the beginning of next year, so this coming winter, based on the fact that they've been touring so much. That's strange, but totally understandable considering what this band is known for sure. And the only worries that I have about that is their current guitarist having a contract and leaving soon, maybe after the next album or the next two albums. I can see that being cruel. 2 albums, that's plenty of time, but not after this next album. I mean, I'm going to be definitely using this whole experience of me in this band and being a big fan of this band as practicing my non-attachment skills and getting on my guru status with that type of thing. So it's not that big of a deal really at all. But I'm still like, I'm gonna miss him a little bit, and I'm following his Instagram. And then what band is he gonna go to next? I mean, the podcast, the second podcast I should put it in this order too. When I put the things in the show notes here, when this episode's released, that the second podcast on the show notes will have the Chronicles of Filth, a whole set of interviews with everybody from this band, and the previous members of the guitarists of the band have been resorted to truck driving in Wisconsin in the States. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's quite strange and odd, and I'm liking the interview, what he's saying about his new projects and all that, but I just want to get into more of that. Anyway, moving along here, the new vids that you want to check out is available from the new album, Trouble in the Double Lives, all live set except for those 2 songs that have the badass videos on there. One of them's like a live pro shot type video. Anyway, those are the other new vids. Those are all the other new stuff, with the cherry on top being this long-awaited Cradle of Filth and Ed Sheeran collaboration. Is this a joke? The answer is no. It is definitely not a joke. Ed Sheeran was a childhood fan of the band, and they found out about it. They got to talking and had some drinks and have decided to do real collaboration. So this pop singer is going to be doing black metal stuff. And also not surprising considering a bunch of other stuff. Anyway, that caps off the new stuff you want to go check out. All the links are available in the show notes by description. Next up we have here teasing you along here with this bonus episode here that you're listening to. This is the Faulted In Podcast, and I am Mickey Gemini, the host of the show. You want to make sure that you go ahead and check out my X Linktree and donate if you like, or comment, like, share, and subscribe, and check out all the other videos. The Patreons are currently under construction. Otherwise, you'd be able to donate there and have that go to my PayPal, which goes to my credit card, which probably goes to a liquor store or something like that to help fuel the fire in my belly or something like that. Anyway, the other stuff here that I want to get to before we get to the main topic of black metal is some of the other links that you'll see in the show notes here. So there's a prompt that I got through email, as my Twitch is not quite under construction. I'm just not like wanting to do much Twitch, but it's so necessary. I need to do Twitch for sure. And there's got to be a lot of the sharing what that I've gotten on my email newsletter, and that is Streamer Camp, where they have a series of videos that teach you how to do Twitch. And there's also helps that it's starring Matt Heafy, somebody that I follow on Twitch, Instagram, and X, and interact with that whole community. And I know the regular and admins on his Twitch, and we talk all the time and always enjoy relives. But he's featuring on there where he shows you how to set up your Twitch account and all that stuff. There's stuff available on there like what equipment you could use, and then fan retention and all that stuff. Go and check that out at the link in the show notes. Also, beware of the Matt Heafy current promotion that he's doing for the gear that you can get to have your setup be decent. Go and check that out on his X, Instagram, and YouTube. There is nothing left after those, so we can get into the next topic here. So events is what I want to get into and ask you guys how Download was. How was Sick New World? Did Soulfly Totem Tour do another tour this year? And Metal and Beer Philadelphia, did they have that going on this year? Unique Legions here at Reggie's in Chicago, did that happen this year? I don't want to Google this stuff, so I'd rather just babble about it here and kind of throw it off into the ether sphere, have you guys respond, and then go off of that. And then maybe we could buy tickets to go together, I don't know. And this is where I go into the next topics of discussion, actual events that I want you guys to, stuff that raised an eyebrow for me. Dropkick Murphys at Hellfest open air this year. Wow, that's cool. I'm probably still not going to watch it. Flogging Molly at Wacken this year. That's cool as well. I'm probably still also not going to watch it. If it's super convenient and it lands on my lap, I'll listen to something less heavy. But we all know I like it really heavy. Other events that would subsequently come after what I just said, kind of making me contradictory, is Saturdays. On the show notes here, you can check out the link for this. There is a folk live. Most of the time they're live. Most other times they're re-aired, so they're not live. But there's folk concerts available on the links, and it's one that I listen to. If you check it out, you might enjoy it. If you do, let me know. If you don't, let me know too. I probably will still get just as much of a thrill from reading your negative reviews as the other stuff. There's another show on there too that I watch that has a lot of this stuff, and none of this is heavy at all. Anyway, folk and just something with a little variety. Go and check those out in the show notes. So, we have already so far covered new stuff, new videos. Oh, and I forgot Sworn to the Dark by Wacken, the album by Wacken that is available, that I found through Black Metal Promotion 1 channel on YouTube. They have 2 channels. Make sure you go and follow both of those and check those out and get your fix for black metal. As what I have to say on that about that is that it was not only a badass album, and this is not a review. I have to make it clear that I'm not doing any official album reviews until I've paid money to the artist through Bandcamp. So that way, when I've paid money to the artist through Bandcamp, my opinion, I'll feel better about voicing my opinion that way, as opposed to just some random guy in here babbling about stuff that he clicked on all this shit. So go check that out. But it's also, I mean, I don't know. Even though I looked into it, I still don't know if the album's new or not, or if Black Metal Promotion YouTube channel just puts it out for like a live stream. At any rate, they all get approved and sent in. So that's cool. If you might be having a question, I know what you're thinking. You're probably saying something like, how do they do that and not get copyright restrictions and all this stuff? Well, that's because they got permission from the artist, and then they put it in there with that permission, and that's how it works. So, moving on then, as that was just something I forgot. Covered events, covered new stuff, the movie, and also, of course, missed a couple things, and can't just keep going back and forth. So moving along here, I want to make sure that I freaking give another shout out to an account, a Twitter account that I gave a shout out to, and I got a follow from him, and I'm super pumped about that. Then I went and checked out the YouTube, and I was a little bit disappointed in Droopy Morty mouth from Rick and Morty about it being in Espanol. So I don't have the subtitles working the way I need it to, or it's translating in English, and I definitely don't have the patience to take a picture of it and do the AI translation with Google. And so it's just shout out Black Metal Plus Legions on X, and having a cool account, posted cool pictures, posted cool bands, and keeping it really simple with this post. I think I said something like that on there. So that's cool. And then a couple other artists that I want you guys to check out before we get to the podcast that I'm mentioning is that there's this band called Primordial that I found through a black metal documentary. I know a lot of us are broke, so we're all watching and streaming for free. Go into Tubi and watch some black metal stuff. Just type in black metal, find some black metal documentaries, and get yourself pumped up full of all the info that you need about this stuff, so you get down with the get down. You know what I mean? And then I found this guy, and then he's doing a podcast. And his name's Alan Averill of Primordial. So I'm like, whoa, I'm listening to the one podcast so far before recording this episode. And I'm like, this is awesome. This guy's really sophisticated, well-refined individual. And I'm like, well, go figure. And he's Irish, too. So, yeah, raise that freaking flag of green for sure. And then not too much, because then it just gets weird after that. Anyway, There's his podcast, Agitators Anonymous. You can find the link to in the show notes. Another artist is Nathan Aurora that I found on Instagram when I had been a reggae guy, listening to all that, Bumbaclot Man, all that stuff. And then he's doing metal covers, reggae metal covers. He's doing reggae versions of metal songs. And that's kind of cool too. It's interesting and people are into it. But you found out about it first here. That's right. Here. Not over there. Get your attention. Just don't get distracted. Get your attention over here. You found out about it first. Right here, baby. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The links for that are also available in the show notes. I think I only put his Instagram, but you can find everything through his Instagram, like the actual videos. Or if your attention span is too short, you don't have any interest in expanding it at all, then just keep it Instagram. Events? Check. Shoutouts? Check. New stuff? Check. Let's get into one of the last things before we get into the three topics, with the main topic being black metal. Stay focused and stay with me. I'm trying to keep these as short and concise as possible. First of all, happy birthday coming up soon to Hammer of the Witches, the Cradle of Filth album. That is a concept album, as they all are, and this one being obviously about specifically witches and witchcraft, even though most of their lyrics and lyrical content is vivid and abundant in such topics. Go and check that album out. Help celebrate with me when it does hit a birthday of, 9 years, 7 years, or something like that. Anyway, it's one of my favorite albums, and cool story. I mean, what are podcasts for if you can't tell cool stories, right? I am doing a podcast right now, and I'm the host, so cool story. So I was actually not doing what I was supposed to do, as usual, with a mischievous me and myself and I. and wound up in the hospital, like always. And then I had nothing to comfort me inside of the hospital bed except for this specific album, Hammer of the Witches. So there it is. I'm done. The story's already done. That's it. That's the whole story. Yay, Hammer of the Witches. Happy birthday. Now for the final countdown showdown. That stupid song that I hate, the final countdown. That's like the song that I hate the most. There isn't a song on the planet that I just despise more than the final countdown. I don't know how a song could just agitate me so much than that song. It's like so unbearable. Anyway, these topics here are a little bit of comforting. Will help calm me down a little bit. So subtopic number 1 of 2 is a little quick comment, brief comment that I have to say about AI. And something that I got inspired from the aforementioned podcast. Even though I haven't mentioned the other one, go check out the other one, because it's a secret and a mystery for right now. So there's a mention of this dying and vanishing breed of live performances. True, very true. Especially since I caught the piece of Twitch Streamer Awards and seeing how big that's getting. Live performances are dying. And saying that and following it up with this is the only way I would mention it. Getting the new generation, and you can quote me here if you must. Getting the new generations out there for live music is a priority. Being a part of this will matter more when it's diminished more. I don't have much influence in general or about this, so I can compensate with subtlety and persistence. I'm more authentic in my intentions, as I've always been. All events mentioned previously will serve as adequate compass. In the meantime, while I'm waiting to get myself back out there performing and watching performances, and still somehow making the time to come back here, talk about it on here, with all the other stuff going on. But other than that, that's subtopic number 1. I want to remind you guys to check out my link tree and my socials. If you're going to comment, like, share, subscribe, give your input, feedback, donate, whatever it is. Talk shit, I don't care. Whatever it is. Go to the link tree, go to the X, the one I use the most, Instagram, with all my just random new art pieces. So here's some new news from me. There's some stuff in the works. There's some random excretion that I am transmitting to the blackness of the abyss, and it has been commenced as of yesterday, when I have to, well, of course, revert right back again over to another happy birthday that I forgot, for the 20th anniversary. Happy birthday, Sound Fingers. And the funny thing for that about me is I actually was mistaken a little bit, thinking that it was the creator's birthday. And then I'm thinking the whole time, too, also, like, was this guy some kid? Is this some, like, because it could be, it's like some 16 or 18-year-old kid. And he's like, they got some crazy twisted minds, and they're making all this crazy-ass, morbid, grotesque cartoon. If that's what you're into, go and check that out, as the links are available as well for those in the show notes. At any rate, the topic was the happy birthday that, and my new projects being commenced, with that being what initiated it all. That there's a new single out that I have. I made a mistake, though, on the spelling on the video, so don't mind that. Please do not spell correct me. Also, I made a mistake as sending it on through my Twitter as #atmospheric death metal. That was funny to me when I was back home reviewing some of my the other stuff that goes in the same basket as that, and it's like, well, then it just becomes atmospheric black metal. There isn't atmospheric death metal. It doesn't exist. it diminishes and cancels out anything that could be atmospheric once it becomes death metal. However, I put it there on accident from the category of guttural vocals. So if you want to listen to some dissonant guttural vocals in the background that sounds like a dying nurse in a zombie apocalypse with God only knows what else, and the screaming victims that barely survived, then go and check it out. The track is called is also a mystery. That's mystery number 2. As I cannot take any more mysteries or suspense, and I know you cannot as well either, listener. You have made it to the subtopic number 2 before we get into the main topic. Subtopic number 2 is something I just want to put out there and emphasize a little bit that is super important here, because there's something going on when I look at certain people's profiles, and I look at my own profiles and my YouTube channels, and I see a bunch of junk profiles. It's because these are vacant. Now, how do we get rid of the vacant stuff is not a question most of the kids have to deal with, at least not right now. But me having insider's edge on this is beneficial to me, and I hold it very dearly to the hilt that I'm noticing these things, and then noticing now how I can proceed then thereafter, as there's plenty of junk profiles of mine that have plenty of vacancy. I can't access the profile, but the content that I previously created is out there. Other people, even big names, have that out there with 250,000 subscribers, 250,000 followers, and stuff like that. So there's no solution that I found so far. But as soon as you guys find one, if you have one, please tell me, because I would love to get rid of all that stuff and clean that junk out. And that's not even the whole thing. There's another problem as well, and that is with these YouTube channels that have the band name and then the word topic next to it. I'm giving you a little insider's edge now so that you don't fuck with topic channels, because it does not support the artist and it's AI generated. I'm not saying don't ever fuck with AI. I'm not against AI. I'm simply saying know how to identify these things as I have, because I'm not just going to sit here and look at all these topic channels for stuff that is not even the whole problem, when there's plenty of artists who are only under a YouTube channel by their label. So that means I can't support the artist directly, get the direct interaction with the artist like I like to. These things are important for everybody. So if you get yourself a little bit of that info that I just gave you, then you can step on into the world anew, he, she, we, they, them. I think that's all it is. As far as weak and low funded channels, I'll have to get into that later. And as far as the poor quality stuff, also I'm gonna have to get into that later, as I'm looking at the quality of my own stuff. The actual quality of the content I make is fine. It's just that it doesn't look good quality, so it matters the most. That's what matters the most. And you can always help support this by donating. So I'm not going to advertise a third time. I've already advertised twice. You know what to do. For the final topic, and that is a discussion that I don't know how long I'm going to ramble about this. So either stop right now, or go and get yourself more comfortable, or pick it up later. I don't know. I don't know. But I do kind of care. I care. Vault of Doom podcast. Alright, now I need to get into this, and this is the part that I hate. The end of the show, the closing in of the show, because this is a topic that doesn't even have a cutoff point. I'm just going to cut it off randomly, probably drop you off the edge. And of course, merry meet and blessed be to you guys of the pagan community as well, that need to know I gave that shout out on accident here to raise the flag of green from Dave the Bard, Order of Bards and Obates and Druids, and host of his own podcast, Druidcast. He has a new album going. To check that out. Should be fun when I get around to it, as I have had a couple of the tracks on there ringing through my mind for my Instagram story and on his show and what have you. So then mixing that with this topic of black metal, I want to discuss all of the info that's available to the general public about about black metal, with the history of it, what's available in the documentaries, what's available in discussions and forums, and then having my interest be starting a new thread and a new blog right here, as there's like clearly some bad stuff with its history, really bad stuff, and there's much to talk about as far as that goes. So having yourself a nice hot cup of tea or coffee would assist you in listening to me try to pick through this, sort through this, and work this out, as I have to figure out how I can word this where it will make sense. So with the countries, let's start with there, and in the parameter of the country that it has its history on. There's a lot of stuff that has to be dissected a little bit. So these guys are doing this to be eccentric, to be weird, to be standing out. You know, that's not the question at hand. At least not quite. But it is the right idea. And there's a lot of stuff that is changing the whole genre, with it having atmospheric being introduced, melodic being introduced, blackened. So blackened being not quite satanic, but just still a little bit into the occult and grimoires and lyrical content pertaining to witchcraft and the occult and demonology and all of this stuff. So with all of these new topics going on, first of all, it should be said and stated very clearly and blatantly that, let's just be frank here, no one cares. No one gives a shit about this whole genre. The whole genre is just literally a piece of toilet paper to wipe your ass with. But there is no doubting that they are the real only Vikings rowing their oar on this boat. That's for damn sure. So how that might pertain to the new people getting into it is not what I'm getting at right now. But if you have these kind of questions, please send your feedback, drop a comment, like, share, subscribe, so we can get this thing a little bit more answers for me, because I need to know why the country Norway, that has the history of doing all the brutal violence, the murders, the church burnings, and all of that other stuff, not having to do that anymore, as the genre has now been introduced and the genre is now popularized and subsequently branched off into other subgenres like the ones that I mentioned. What my concern is, and what the actual question is, and what the essence of the whole main topic of this bonus episode of the show is, really boils down to what other countries are doing now. Are they to introduce the genre, to make a statement, to make their name, to carve their name into the history of this thing? And there's obviously Swedish melodic. There's a Swedish side. Those are the two main known ones. Whatever history may say, it's at the end of the day really only important what the masses are saying. And there is the true Norwegian black metal being this. It's just going to be. It's going to be the mantra. It's going to be the thing that keeps it as a staple in the bread and butter of what that genre is really about. And there's there's like American black metal now, and there is, in terms of my radar, those are the three countries where Swedish, Norwegian, American, but I do not want to just brush lightly over the Swedish side. So the Swedish side is influenced heavily by what it's known for, and that's death metal and melodic death metal. Now, that's where those are the integral roles that those three countries play. As American, it's just like, it's American, it's whatever. People are gonna, as good as it might ever be, it's just gonna be, that's gonna be the attitude, as the whole thing is started at a certain place in terms of how it was introduced into history. So with all the other countries, like on my radar too, I cannot exclude South America, specifically Argentina, being that they are on the Western Hemisphere, so they're right below us in the States, and then they have a lot of stuff that's influenced from death metal, being that it's close to the death metal capital of the entire Western Hemisphere currently right now, and Argentina's northern South America. So they have an interesting twist and an interesting taste that's been added to it. If you would like to hear some more of this, I will not keep you guessing and keep you in anticipation. You can find all of the stuff that you need in terms of current, new, live premieres of albums, full albums of black metal on the links in the show notes. So make sure you go and check those out, or the Boogeyman is going to get you. Now, let's get into the other countries as best I can from my perspective here in the States. And there really isn't anywhere else. There's Germany, and they have been known for doing industrial, and then there is UK. The UK is just like a totally different. It's like a strange, weird version, another version of the States. So it's like, oh, it's UK black metal, UK extreme metal. Oh, okay. So it's the same thing, people are just like, man, let's get down to, there's a calling and a hunger that twists and churns deep inside you that makes you say, well, I'm really trying to get to the more authentic and original stuff, as good as it might ever be from the UK or the US, but these are still things you should pay attention to, as we do not want to let South America win. Okay, we can't let that happen. There's gonna be a big battle, and they're gonna win. If you overlook United States black metal, and if you overlook United Kingdom black metal, because Germany has plenty of good black metal, but my experience in listening to all of their albums premiered throughout this past year in full in its totality here for like a whole year. It's all super influenced with folky side stuff. Folk side stuff being basically from their more mountainous maybe or something like that. It's like, okay, whatever, if you don't want to, I know what you're thinking. You're over there like lackadaisically giving me a haphazard response of some mumblings and grumblings. Now, I need you to give me a little more emphasis if you're going to interact with me on this, because it's like, well, if you're not interested in black metal, then don't listen to my podcasts, and don't listen to my music, as I have also clearly stated that my most recent track actually has to be defined as black metal, and I didn't even mention the falsetto. I didn't even mention the falsetto as being, well, okay, then it's atmospheric black metal. But, same thing. It's like it's from here, okay? There's plenty of good stuff from here. There's plenty of good stuff from everywhere, but it was put on the map in Norway for the things that they've done in history. And that brings me right back to topic, right back on topic here, on the point that I'm trying to make here is that, well, essentially, it would make sense then, if you look at the history of true Norwegian black metal and the crimes that occurred to start the genre and get the thing on its feet, popularized worldwide. There was a climax there where nobody knew about anything that's happening before the climax. Everybody just knew about the climax, followed thereafter. and then everything after now is just the same story as any classic rock or other regular genre, but it's black metal. So there's got to be in anybody who's into black metal, and then looking at black metal, listening to black metal, thinking about black metal, sleeping and dreaming about black metal, tattooing black metal themes, whatever it is, buying tickets to go see black metal, whatever it is. There's lots of stuff that is not. There's lots of stuff that is not going to freaking cut the mustard unless you get that insider's edge and see what's going on. I'm providing all of this for you on the canvas of the show notes here on the official Spotify channel of the Vault of Doom podcast. This has been the Vault of Doom podcast bonus episode number 2 of season 2, officially episode 23. And on that note, I bid you guys a merry meet and blessed be, as there are much badass shit to be fucking in the works in my dark chasms of my abyss, of the abyss. Specifically, there's just some singles coming out. I don't know, I might slap them into a demo. I might just put them all out promo and then make like a real demo from whatever else comes afterwards. But in the meantime, you can anticipate the September premiere of my DeviantArt channel that is not going to be available in the show notes. That's the only thing I'm going to leave the carrot on the string of dangling over your head about, is that if you want to check out the art, you'll still not have to worry about that DeviantArt profile premiering on September of this year. You can go and check out everything else that's available on my Instagram, where there's just cool random shit. And if you want to steal some of it, I don't care. You just need to DM me first and let me know. Till next time, folks. Take a freaking second here for my old wrinkly, dried up grandpa brain of mine that's all burnt out from doing too many drugs and partying and fucking sluts, to remember my catchphrase. Let do it. Rawr.